don't much appreciate you undermining my work, Minister. When have I ever not made a go of a job for you, huh? Is it so damn hard to extend a mind of trust?
Calm down. You know well would not have been necessary had you completed your task in a timely manner.
I'll calm down when you stop braying your little excuses. How about that?
My, such aggression. We scarcely need add hostility to your list of inadequacies. Paratrooper Sealong, no mind. The individuality encouraged by Auntie's choice sometimes inspires employees to speak out of turn. How has your progress been? Have you acquired what we discussed? Excellent! At least that someone in my employ can be relied upon. Here, have one of my finest suits as a token of thanks. May it aid in your capture of hearts and minds.
Again, you gave away my job and told my replacement to send me home. That don't make me wayward, and it sure as shit don't make me unreliable. If this contract weren't staying my hand, I reckon you'd be answering to it right about now.
You mean grant preferential treatment to a subpar contractor? And I suppose the bits for such a procedure shall simply manifest from the ether?
And if I die or leave, how do you reckon failure to retain an enhanced soldier would look to upper management, huh?
Please pay this disgruntled employee no mind. What would she do without Auntie's hand to guide her if she were unemployed? I should think death a preferable alternative.
That's it. I'd rather be a down-and-outer for the rest of my life than crushed under your counterfeit leather boa boot a second longer. I quit! Oh, I'm counting on it.
This is unheard of, and I might add, you'll not be welcome with an Auntie's choice once more. We'll not take a contract shirker back into our fold.
So you say. But Auntie's choice ain't seen a trooper like me before. You'll regret counting me out. Till then, I hope you choke on your mock apple martinis. And you, I got a proposition for you. Come find me when you're done with this clown.
She will most assuredly regret her decision, most assuredly. But I suppose that is no longer my concern. Now, where were we? Oh, yes. The acquisition of this information is but the first part of my plan to bring our foes into the fold and to ensure my future. The second is my operation in Westport. Wait. It seems I must be direct. My operation in Westport is as important, if not more so, than what had to be done at the Ministry. Might you hear me out? Yes, of course. Do return if you're interested in assisting in Westport as well. There's much to do. Much to do.
All done in there? Was hoping we could chat. Hope that little dust-up back there didn't put you off. My contract had me caged, and I was glad to get a few licks in during the jailbreak. Got a proposition. Since I'm newly free-ranged, and you're free-ranged yourself, thinking we ought to team up. You're going places. I want to go too. If you help me fix my graft, you'll retain the services of a fully functioning enhanced soldier. Me. Don't matter what you set your mind to, together we'll be unstoppable. And in time, maybe I'll have earned myself the clout to be welcomed back into Auntie's choice. That'll be the addendum in my next business proposal. Assuming I can guarantee I'll live that long once the graft is fixed. I get it. You're skeptical. If you got more questions, go on and ask them. You'll not find me hiding anything in the fine print. I can be on my own for a time, but I'd rather it not be permanent. Besides, where else can I turn from nothing to something? I know you're making fun, but I fully intend to stand in front of Auntie and show just how much I made her proud. You know, once the graft is sorted out. So, what do you think? Had a feeling you knew a good offer when you seen it. Once I'm in top form, you'll be pleasantly surprised to see what I'm capable of. Just gotta find out how to get there first. Doc Tinsley worked with grafts for some time before she came to Fairfield. Damn fine scientist. Reckon we should visit her lab at the edge of town to see if she's got ideas for us.
This much of a crowd's not likely to keep a low profile. Someone ought to head back to mind the ship. I didn't mean me, but all right. I see where your head's at. Keep safe out there.
After you.
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I couldn't liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. Oh, Inez, you look, well, like you could use an ice bath and a cup of newly formulated trip teas. Has something happened?
Something has, all right. I ended my contract effective immediately. Now I'm free to prove myself to everyone in Auntie's choice. My way.
Well, that's wonderful news. Or is it? I admit I'm still trying to work through what contracts mean hereabouts. But you do appear to be pleased, so I shall be pleased for you. Oh, yes. The Protectorate did not have contracts in this sense. Despite the time I've had to acclimate to Auntie's choice, I sometimes fail to grasp such concepts.
Never mind that. I really need your help, Doc, with my graft. Was hoping you had some ideas on how to fix it.
What timing? As it just so happens, I believe I do. No. I'm using my own funds and the equipment allotted to me for my Raptidons. As far as our leadership is concerned, this work remains firmly in my past. I prefer it that way. Before I began my new illustrious career working with our tame, scaly friends here, I was a researcher in the Enhanced Soldier Division. Oh, I was on the verge of breakthrough when they shut us down. Oh, when I think of the lives I could have reached. But in my current role, I do try to help where I can.
Where my own first aid training can't reach, Doc's got me covered. The graft knocked me on my ass for weeks when I first got it. But she nursed me back to health.
Would if I could have done more.
Despite your insinuation, there are plenty of good folk around here, but perhaps not many with Doc's particular skill set.
I understand your reservation, but I do care deeply for all my patients. Inez has attested to it, and so can Copernicus here, when he is freshly fed. Where was I? Right. I have a lead, Inez. I've identified 2 viable beasts on this island that you may be compatible with, though it may not be easy to acquire the suitable specimens. Unfortunately, the beasts must be subdued, and due to the nature of the specimens we require for the procedure, sadly killed. I might add that these are powerful beasts indeed. The first candidate is the skeleton crabble. It has a rare form of albinism and was last spotted on the western coast by Protectorate scientists, who unfortunately went missing. I happened upon an old report of theirs along with a code used to operate their machinery. If their fate is what I suspect, the code may be of use to you.
I heard rumors of the creature myself. Our skeleton sounds a good bit larger than the average crabble. Meaner and smarter, too. It is. Rare, once-in-a-generation divergence in the crabble population. Powerful and frightening? Reckon it'd suit me just fine.
The second candidate is a raptidon matriarch, the only one of her kind on the island as I understand it. She was last spotted in the crags near the Vox Relay.
Deep in Protectorate territory. This matriarch sure ain't making it easy for us. She'll be more aggressive and more cunning than her smaller kin.
I suggest avoiding the front gate, but you may have luck finding a drainage outlet in our matriarch's cave. The Protectorate often build them in this manner and leave them unguarded. When you breach the matriarch's lair, you must rouse her from hibernation. I found pheromones to be quite effective. Inez, I'm certain you know a formula that may suffice.
That I do.
Excellent. It'll be a rather unpleasant wake-up call for the matriarch, so she'll be upon you in moments. I suggest your armaments be at the ready. Then the grafting part is yours. Yes, though I would recommend a careful surgical removal of the specimens, please. Now, when you acquire one or both of these parts, return here straight away, and we can begin surgery. Law guide you both out there. Oh, I love questions. Ask away. Well, I was a subject once. Despite my talents, the plan dictated that I should be relegated to programming cleaning mechs. Bah. But then, Auntie's Choice came along and offered to transform our lives for the better. I chose to accept. And look where I am today. Over the last year, I have climbed the rungs of my division through the sheer merit of my work. I have finally earned the respect I was always due. So you must understand what my position exemplifies and why my work has become my pride. When I embraced Auntie's, I was given latitude to better myself. My dreams and abilities were my only limit. That's the beauty of Auntie's Choice. Everyone can make of their lives what they wish. Ask any of the other Protectorate subjects who converted, and they'd echo my words. When one can allow their ambitions to show, that is true freedom. They did. I was in a dreadful state before the invasion. I fear I was close to disappearing myself. The Sovereign claims to provide for all of our needs. But without freedom and autonomy, I could not find happiness. In any case, I do hope I've satisfied your curiosity. The war effort and liberating the rest of the Protectorate waits for no one, you understand? The Enhanced Soldier Division researched how to give our troops an upper hand in battle, sometimes literally. In short, we affixed graphs to strategic points on troopers' bodies. Oh, how excited we were to consider the possibilities. But as it was quite an infant science, the procedures led to many rejections and unnecessary pain. Even death. I did all I could to improve our processes and avoid damaging our patients in any shape or form. Then they abruptly shut us down and left our soldiers without a place to go. We did take great care to analyze our graft candidates for good health, strength in mind and body, and leadership potential. We only proceeded with those who met all criteria. Indeed, the process certainly needed further refining to avoid adverse events. For each soldier to reach their full potential. If the procedure had ever been perfected, our soldiers would have had a much improved prospect at surviving the war front, and thus of freeing more subjects from beneath the Sovereign's gilded boot heel. That is far above my job grade. Job title? Pay grade. Yes, that's it. Anyhow, I'm busy enough serving the war effort and avoiding the Minister and Officer Carr's squabbles. If you two have spotted the chasm between them, I fear the Protectorate have already pinpointed the way with which to exploit it. I'm unused to the way things are done here, I suppose. The Protectorate leadership never behaved in such a manner. So I should return to the Protectorate and accept swift death for desertion? Certainly not. I would much rather stay here, continue my work, and hope my leaders can reach an accord. Challenging though it may be, one wishes to woo Protectorate subjects to our ranks. The other wishes to secure a decisive victory with weaponry and technology. As for which approach is best, I wish I knew. I see. I hope his spirits may be sustained. I have grown fond of the Minister, but I cannot help but wonder if he fully understands how proud the Protectorate are. It takes great courage or desperation to acknowledge the wrongs of one's society, and even more to leave it entirely. He may find that courage to be rarer than he thinks, or perhaps he will manage to prove me wrong with his powers of persuasion yet again. How I would welcome it in this case. Very well. I ought to focus more on my work than on social tensions anyhow. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. Oh dear. I rather hoped that Copernicus rolled off the tongue a sight better than designation C0P3R. I suppose I'll ensure he responds to both in any case.
Schultz went where? Sakes alive.
This is Protectorate territory, all right. Ain't looking to instigate anything, Commander. But if these bastards make any threat on my person, no promises.
Quantities of organic decomposition.
You there! Keep your hands where I can see. You! My scouts saw you infiltrating our lands to the north. This is Protectorate soil, and Protectorate it shall remain! Cadre, to arms! Let this trespasser know justice.
Under Protectorate law, we are bound to inform you that you have entered a recreant locality. Record states as follows.
Yeah. Looks like your paint's getting a little worn. I can touch it up for you if you like. Only fair, considering how much you do for us.
Any cosmetic changes must be approved by Agent Ibarra, who is responsible for maintaining this unit. His current level of care exceeds baseline requirements.
Oh, I know, you're looked after. Just want to help you shine like the gem you are. Tell you what, I'll talk to Niles, and we'll treat you to a tune-up and spot clean. What do you say?
Due to the Valerie unit's protective anti-bloodstain coating, a gentle cleaning with diluted soap should be effective in ridding your unit of even the toughest grease. Please avoid all sockets and cease cleaning immediately if sparks occur.
This paradigm we serve supplies.
Prisoner 34989-393A. There is no place for you in the paradigm. You are hereby sentenced to death for the crimes of desertion and opposing the lawful authority of the Protectorate.
No! Wait, I beg of you! I was just afraid of Montelli! He's taken leave of his mental faculties! His way is no longer that of the Sovereign! Why can't you see that?
Quiet, traitor. At least honor the Sovereign by dying with a modicum of dignity. Were I not better informed, I'd assume you were
Aborting
Andy's
search.
choice.
Wearing up!
Time to settle accounts.
awaits repair.
Vitals looking a mite marginal, Commander.
Resuming hostile.
come any closer. Huh?
Enthusiasts.
What's that noise? That was a close one. Thank the Sovereign. Thank you for saving me. I'm waiting here for my partner. We both fled the base separately. If you see him, please send him my way. No. Briggs. Damn you, Montelli. Thank you for telling me and for saving my life, but I need some time to process this. But please take this with you before you go.
Let this log serve as a record of the fact that Sentry's first-class Briggs and Jakes are both still loyal to the Protectorate and the Sovereign, despite their acts of desertion. The mental state of Brigadier Montelli has been rapidly degrading over the past few months, and the Vox relay station is no longer safe for even the most loyal subjects. Initially, we assumed he was simply being overly cautious by increasing base security beyond the standards that are required by regulations. Unnecessary, but commendable. This quickly devolved into lashing out, seemingly at random. Finally, he started purging the traitors from our ranks. Any infraction, real
Sequencing
or
attack
imagined,
strategies.
is now seen as an act of treason and deemed grounds for immediate execution. We could no longer live under the abuse of the paradigm. This may make us traitors in the eyes of our superiors.
Health benefits
We will
available at your
return to be
request.
judged when sanity has returned to the Vox relay station.
Commander, you're bleeding!
functional.
Resuming hostilities.
I'm low, Commander. Medic's orders.
Hear that? It's challenging us. Raptidons are ever malleable. Eden doesn't want them around and they don't belong here. But they sure carved out a place for themselves. I can respect that.
Engaging.
Keep howling. We're coming for you.
Valerie unit requires service.
In business.
See these half-eaten remains? They're a sign. Matriarchs lose their appetite when they're on the verge of going into a state of torpor. She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve her energy. And I got one way to get her attention. Traveled on a ship all the way from Tau Ceti with an entire herd. Saw how the trainers handled them, or didn't. I learned best through observation. You know how Doc mentioned pheromones? Well, it just so happened that I procured some Raptidon glandular extract in my travels. Should do the trick. A matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't coming out of hibernation unless she senses a threat to her authority. She hates rivals. Old girl's apparently a very deep sleeper. Any other questions, or are you ready to meet this matriarch? I was inquiring more about your current manner of fortitude, but I'll take it. All right, let's do this.
Help me end this fight on my feet. Commander, you're bleeding. I hate to ask for help, but how?
See these half-eaten remains? They're a sign. Matriarchs lose their appetite when they're on the verge of going into a state of torpor. She'll have retreated into hiding to conserve her energy. But I got one way to get her attention. Traveled on a ship all the way from Tau Ceti with an entire herd. Saw how the trainers handled them, or didn't. I learned best through observation. You know how Doc mentioned pheromones? Well, just so happened that I procured some Raptidon glandular extract in my travels. Should do the trick. A matriarch with 3 full stomachs ain't coming out of hibernation unless she senses a threat to her authority. She hates rivals. Old girl's apparently a very deep sleeper. Any other questions, or are you ready to meet this matriarch? I was inquiring more about your current manner of fortitude, but I'll take it. All right, let's do this. On my feet.
Resuming hostility. This unit is concerned. That's the limb. Bring it here, would ya? Lol, look at this part. That's twice the muscle mass of a Raptidon hunter. Undamaged nerve endings? Even the coloration's to my liking. Can't ever discount the aesthetics. You're no slouch, you know that? If we had more soldiers with your talent, we would have taken Eden months ago. You earned it. We could head back to Doc Tinsley's lab now, though there's still the matter of that skeleton crabble. We might search out its lair on the coast, if you're up for it. Elsewise, we're done here.
Units repair.
You're looking pretty scathed, Commander.
Resuming hostilities.
We pulled a good harvest. Doc Tinsley's going to be pleased. But if we could hunt for the other beast before bringing this specimen back to her, I'd be much obliged. See those burrows? The skeleton's nearby. And if it's as nearby as I think, it don't bode well for those scientists. Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Krabbles out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play. Well, you hate to be proven right. These folk have been dead a while. And that must be the machinery Doc mentioned. Over here, Commander. Huh. Seems this terminal reroutes power to speakers around the cave. They were using sound to lure the Krabbles out. Let's see here. Generator's back on. Power up that phonotron, would you? Should cause enough ruckus to make the skeleton come out and play. Ain't making it easy for us. Watch yourself. Damn you, stuff. How's he still standing? Almost got him. Don't let him stay. He's down.
Standing by for assist.
Resuming hostilities.
This unit is concerned for the commander's well-being.
That phonotron was effective. Now we just need the specimen. Mind the pincers. They can be a little feisty even after death. Nice work. Mind bringing it over here so I can take a gander? Muscular reticulation's still intact. Cartilaginous integrity mostly sound. A good clean cut. And the pincer's still sharp. Yeah, this'll do just fine. Shame about all the scientists, though. I was hoping this wouldn't be too steep a price. Well, I sure ain't gonna fry up the claw and serve it with tarmac and cheese. This little hand has been poisoning me for a spell, remember? I'm hoping it'll be a salve, as Doc suspects it might be. But seeing it now, I reckon there are some other ways I might use it to my advantage. Reckon we should head back to Doc Tinsley's. I got accessories aplenty, with the skeleton and matriarch specimens both in hand. In honesty, I don't know which one I should ask Doc to patch me up with. Can't go wrong with either, but one could be the better choice. If you've got an opinion, I'm keen to hear it. The material we harvested from the skeleton crabble could allow me to fire off scalding shell shards. They'd pierce through armor easily, I imagine. And the part from the Raptidon matriarch should let me camouflage myself at will, like other Raps can. I'd be able to close the distance and heal you up without the enemy noticing. All right, but Doc Tinsley will need an answer once we meet with her. Lots to think about.
Emergency is prime.
Why choose just any choice when you could choose Auntie's choice?
All these wicks got everyone riled up, including me.
You ever find yourself with too much disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to dispose of it.
Auntie's Choice and the Protectorate got a difference in opinion. The Protectorate believe they can't be bloodied. We think otherwise. Got something that needs doing, Commander? How personal are we talking? Then I keep pushing forward till I can't anymore. You didn't see me when I first got out of surgery and came to Paradise Island. The fact that you and I met at all is a testament to Doc's skill. But suppose if her treatment doesn't stick, then maybe it's my time to go. You can only cheat death so many times. You know that as well as I do. I owe Doc more than I could say. She helped me without even asking for payment or a favor up front. I never would have thought folk like her existed out here. She reminds me of the folk I had back home in Tauceti. Generous despite everything. The thought gave me comfort when I first sat in her chair, barely able to walk without help. I'd rather not dwell on those moments, if it's all the same to you. What matters is the here and now. Fine by me. Couldn't say. I was in it all of 2 days before my graft started festering. Before that, I was an infantry medic. Our platoon was one of the first to touch down in Arcadia. I would have continued serving on the front line in an upgraded capacity, but, well, once the state of my graft became apparent, it was decided that parting ways would be best. Oh. They only officially discharge you if you, say, killed a fellow trooper on purpose, or gave someone a screaming deal on triptease. I was quietly reassigned to the menial troubleshooter contract status, which had me running all sorts of mind-numbing jobs across the island. Thrilling, I know. We're among the most valuable targets on the battlefield. If we go down, our entire platoon's at risk. But boosting our constitution, making us stronger, making the enemy soil themselves at the thought of enraging us, there's a lot to be gained there. Is it? Well, I'll be sure to send in a report to my commanding officer, wherever he is, and demand some recompense. Maybe things are different back on Earth. Out here, all that matters is winning the fight. Like garbage? I'd like to hope the captain and the surgeon who performed the operation were a bit more considering than that. Look, I knew dismissal was a possibility when I volunteered for the procedure. A successful graft is a boon, a failed one is a colossal liability. I'm a walking lesson in breakage. That's a nice sentiment. Did you pull it directly from a children's serial? Sorry. It's just increasingly clear you've not had many dealings with the corporation or its leaders. This is the way of things in Auntie's Choice. If you can't prove your worth, you're left behind. And that's why I'm here, trying to play catch-up. I miss my platoon. Most of the time. I hope they're holding on okay wherever they are. Huh. If nothing else, they'll have Ortiz to keep up morale. I know the nonstop jokes from that bastard sustained me for weeks. Yeah, he's tough. He'll be all right. Of course I do. Can't help but wonder if I'm missed in return. Anyhow, I would rather return to the matter at hand. No use dwelling on those out of sight and out of mind. Right. Like ain't the word I'd use, even before I was itching to tear up my contract and set it aflame. Auntie gave me autonomy, gave me the choice to do more than just struggle to survive. They treated me better than my last employers did, and despite recent events, I believe in their mission. We can give folk here in Arcadia a better life. Course. I mean, obviously procuring resources and bolstering their influence are pluses, but there are easier ways to get those than liberating a colony. You can think what you like, but my focus is on the people. I want to do for them what Auntie's choice did for me. They ain't perfect, but they're a damn sight better than the competition. I ain't the only one who welcomed the chance to enlist with open arms, I'll tell you that. The same could happen here. Yes, and that's a decision I made for myself. Back in Tau Ceti under Spacer's Choice, I couldn't even choose what I had for breakfast, if I'd been allowed any. That takeover was the best thing that ever happened to us, even if it took time to see it. But I reckon that's a tale for another day. That all you wanted to discuss, or...
Back again? I hope the hunting has gone well. Certainly, if you've procured the right materials. I've been fine-tuning the procedure in the meantime. I do believe it'll be as smooth as crabble butter.
I'm gonna assume crabble butter's especially smooth, because I'm ready to feel like myself again. The material we harvested from the skeleton crabble could allow me to fire off scalding shell shards. They'd pierce through armor easily, I imagine. And the part from the Raptidon matriarch should let me camouflage myself at will, like other Raps can. I'd be able to close the distance and heal you up without the enemy noticing. I believe either option would suit me fine. Care to share your thoughts? Grafting with the matriarch feels right. The Enhanced Soldier Division was designed with Raptidons in mind, and there's nary a specimen finer than our late matriarch. If you don't mind, I'll go ahead and take this spare part off your hands for my own research.
Oh, the Raptidon matriarch will be a splendid match for you, Inez. Go on now. Get sorted while I get this machine up and running. Mind the Raptidon drool on the table. No need to be nervous. I promise.
Thank you for the bedside manner, Commander. As you can tell, I've got a nervous temperament and jump at the sight of my own shadow.
Enough distractions, please. I need the utmost focus for my work. This is beautiful work. My best yet. How does the limb feel, Inez? Any numbness? Pain?
Yeah, both. Body's not accustomed to the presence of another limb. Feels like I've got an extra passenger in my nervous system. But it certainly beats feeling like I'm bleeding on the inside. Or fighting the urge to feast on raw human flesh. Like last time.
Well, I'll certainly be having words with that surgeon, leaving you in a state like that. Now, you come back straight away if anything bothers you.
Will do, Doc. I thank you. And you, Commander, without your help, I don't know what I might have done. Whatever you need going forward, I'm there. You got my word. I can feel my senses sharpening. Teeth, too. Also, my appetite. I'd say this officially puts me back in full fighting form. If you ever thought I might slow you down, you can give those fears a kiss goodnight. I appreciate that, Commander. I got a good feeling about this partnership of ours. Just want to reiterate that I'll make good on my end of the deal. I plan on proving my worth to you and to Auntie, no matter what it takes. I expect we're going to have quite the adventure together. I appreciate you hearing me out. We should move on. What I wouldn't give for a big bowl of purpleberry crunch right now. Got something that needs doing, Commander? How personal are we talking? Not great. It was a mining colony under Spacer's Choice. Didn't have much, but my parents worked hard to ensure we had shelter and a warm meal every day. They're good folk. I love them. But I don't think they ever quite grasped how bad things were before Auntie's Choice came. They warned me not to join up, you know. Said we'd all get burned if we put too much stock in the promises of this foreign corporation. But I'd rather take a risk on them than be resigned to how things were. Me neither. Spacer's Choice could kill hope in just about anyone. Though, my folks are living comfortably now. Whether they trust Auntie or not, that's what matters. No, not at all. But I ain't sure my folks oppose them now. They have good jobs and a roof that doesn't leak. The ones who didn't adjust, however, was our management. Some of them tried to cut a deal. Company secrets in exchange for an entry-level administrative role, and made it out okay. But most violently opposed the takeover. And that ain't hypothetical. Reckon a bullet in the gray matter was more palatable than being forced to the bottom rung. Says it all, really. Our colony was isolated, which meant our Spacer's Choice overlords could do as they saw fit. Everyone lived in squalor, save for a select few. We were little more than workhorses. Those of us at the bottom only found joy with our families, our friends. But love alone can't get you through the toughest, darkest winters. I miss the sunsets, and my folks, though I know they're well taken care of nowadays. But that's about it. Most of my friends joined up when I did, so we took our community with us. Leaving my hometown itself, it was an eager farewell. Though there is one person I keep thinking of. The grandpa who lived next door, Vincent. He used to draw posters and ads for Spacer's Choice. He had style. Of course, that didn't last. Age caught up and his hands started failing him. Couldn't draw, couldn't lift heavy objects, could hardly walk without exerting himself. And in Tau Ceti, if you couldn't work, you didn't get ration cards. We shared what we could with him, of course, but what we got already wasn't much. Last day I saw him, he refused the half-salt tuna can I tried to give him. Said it was him lending me his strength. He was gone the next day. We searched all over, then realized he must have wandered off into the wilderness, not wanting to be a burden. We never found him. Can't hardly open a tin without thinking about him now. So if you're wondering why I still hold a candle for Auntie's Choice, after everything, it's because I know had Auntie arrived just 4 months earlier, Vincent might still be alive. It's been years now since I talked about it. He was a good man. He deserved better. So did the rest of us. Anyhow, ain't meaning to talk your ear off. Fine by me? Well, like I said, we were both in the same unit. Me as a combat medic, him as a machine gunner. Everyone in my unit was from Tau Ceti, so we already had that in common. And we served on the front lines, which made us look out for one another that much more. See, most of us were laborers, and we just got our first real shot at something greater. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, and what better way to do that than become a hero? Our onboarders promised that if we demonstrated exceptionalism, showed initiative, that we'd get promoted quick. And our days of living in squalor would be far behind us. It ain't like they forced us to join up. We did that on our own. And it said in our contract that they could send us wherever we were needed. Can't complain if where we're needed is in a trench staring down the barrels of a minigun. I reckon that's a difference in perspective. Oh, they were ex-VPs from Spacer's Choice. They tried to hide it, but we found them out quick. They didn't eat like the rest of us, see. When you're used to doing without, you stay mindful of anyone or anything that might try to steal the can of salt tuna from your hands. The VPs set their own cans down, half-eaten. The kind of certainty that your lunch ain't about to be someone else's is a real nefarious kind of privilege. We spent a week crouched in the same foxhole under aerial bombardment. Shared water one sip at a time by the end of it. Anyone would have been friends after that. I don't know if I would have made it out alive without him. Maybe I'll tell him that over a beer one day. Praise him in front of the whole saloon. Law knows he's got a thing for heroics. Commander, has your gray matter reverted to that of a prepubescent? No, we ain't, you know. We're friends. Nothing romantic-like. But maybe could have been, under other circumstances. But I'd say those circumstances have well and truly flown. He kept me clear-headed. Every so often there'd be a lull in the bombardments and I'd hear voices all across the field, calling out for aid, for Mama, for death. Almost got my head clean taken off when I tried to scramble out of the foxhole the first night. I heard a call for help and moved on instinct. Damn foolish of me, really. Ortiz told me not to panic, to wait till he could provide cover, to just shout first aid instructions where I could. It was too valuable to fall in battle, he said. It was a rough few nights at first, knowing I couldn't help folk who needed it. And the reward for that torment was my life. That an Earth Directorate law or something? No, out here, anyone's fair game. In fact, taking out the one person who could mitigate losses on our side, they'd consider a triumph. In any case, I'm only standing here because of a damn fine soldier who became my friend. I'll carry that knowledge always. Fine by me.